What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to, I forget, I think this is like episode 8 of season 4. So if you're listening to us on the radio, we're on WDJY 99.1 FM, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Also simulcast on the TuneIn app, same time in the Atlanta metro area. We're also on channel 10 in the DC Fairfax area. And then, of course, you can subscribe to us on your podcast platform of choice, which we go live every week. I try to put it up by Monday, but sometimes it's Tuesday. But yeah, so if you want us in real time, right? Because sometimes we're a week or two delayed on the radio because of how to submit it and all that good stuff. Please subscribe. And then we're also on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful, handsome faces. All right. So check us out on all those platforms. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, as well as a bunch of other platforms. You can also go to theothersideofthefirewall.com if you want to pick up the guide. So definitely check that one out. Or you can go to RyanWilliamsSenior.com. That's Ryan Williams, and either it's senior all spelled out, SENIOR, or SR, whichever one you choose. I bought both of them to check out all of my various projects. And then, of course, if you would like some services, right, because I never plugged this enough, please go to ramcyber.io if you're looking for an assessment like a NIST, a CSF, a gap assessment, CMMC level 1 or level 2 readiness. Hit me up. But without further ado, I'll give you to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from cybersecuritydive.com, written by Eric Geller. And the title of this one is CISA orders feds to patch Cisco flaws used to hack multiple agencies, right? So we've had this before when it comes to Cisco devices and them being the target to gain access to different networks, right? So CISA came out, and this was last Thursday, so this is only a few days ago, right? And they ordered U.S. government agencies to patch multiple vulnerabilities in Cisco network products, saying an advanced threat actor was using them in a widespread campaign. We've seen it before. Like I said, we've seen it to where this was kind of a weird one where someone was putting out, I don't want to say fake like Cisco devices, but they were Cisco devices that they couldn't verify the what do you call it, like the manufacturing origin of them.
Right.
So yeah, Cisco, it's the reason for that is because of what the device does when it comes to routing, switching, things of that nature. Like you can get the keys to the kingdom if you get in these devices, right? And so what CISA ended up doing was they ended up putting an emergency directive out there, right? And it's the ED 25-03, and it's identify and mitigate potential compromise of Cisco devices. So they come out there, they give you the background. They talk about the CVEs. There's actually 3 of them. 2 of them are critical. One's a medium. And they talk about, hey, this is what you need to do to get rid of them, the reporting you have to do for them. So this is legit something out there that they are being very serious and very active on, right? So with the CVEs, you have 2025 20333, CVE 2025-20362. What was the other one? It was 2025-20363, right? So in the emergency directive, it tells you what to do, right? How to report, what to do, required actions for your appliances, what you should be doing. And they have a step-by-step. They call it a core dump and hunt instructions, parts 1 through 3, right? So you have to submit the dumps to a portal so they can see. It's pretty much you just taking a snapshot to say, hey, this is, the version we have. This is the devices we're using, so that they can go from there, right? So, and they have different things you have to do. If there's compromise connected, you do these things. If there's no compromise connected, you do these things. And they have a deadline of September 30th for some of this, right? So we're looking at a few days from now, from when we're filming, for reporting and actions to be taken, right? So this is very serious stuff out there, folks, because Cisco is used a lot out there, right? So their firewalls, their switches, like all their infrastructure devices are heavily used in the DoD, right? So the fact that this is a target is not a big surprise because, again, this isn't the first time, right? So Cisco made a release and they said, hey, we take this very serious, blah, blah, blah. They made the whole spiel about, how serious they're taking it. But you figure if that was the case, like, you'd be a little bit more careful about some of these things out there, that these things that are being discovered, that are being utilized to attack these different networks. But here we are, right? Like we we got to take care of it. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, so in the article that I gave to you, Shannon, they talk about how sophisticated the campaign is and how the attackers are able to withstand a reboot by getting a foothold in the ROM, right? The read-only memory. So it's pretty clever. Hopefully everybody takes heed, right? Like if you're a government agency, you have no choice. However, other agencies are also using these devices, the ASAs, as well as the I think it's Firepower with the ASA software on top, because Cisco is prevalent throughout, right? Like they're like the brand name. So Cisco's like they hate us because they ain't us, basically. So yeah, definitely make sure you're patching, remediating. I think it's pretty clever on CISA's part to have the portal, so that way they can actually gain kind of some telemetry, right, to know who's been affected, who's been impacted prior to everybody doing the dump and then the remediation. So you at least know who was a target prior to everybody cleaning it up. So again, pretty sophisticated. So you would think it's probably a nation state, but it could be somebody in their basement, for all we know. But its target on government agencies specifically seems to be, kind of an indicator that this is another government causing havoc again.
For sure, it is, right? Like this isn't one of those things where somebody in their basement just like,
You never know.
this is what I want to do. It could be, right? It could be, but I mean, you asking for a lot of trouble that you can't back up if you just somebody in your basement making this happen, right? This
Right.
isn't war. This isn't war games, right? Broderick ain't down there. Matthew Broderick isn't there? Ain't down going crazy playing tic tac toe with a. It's weird to me though, right? Because when you look at the CVEs, like they tell you what it is. Like it's missing authorization is for one of them, right? Like this is something that you have to get a handle on, right? And I get it that when you're developing different firmware and things of that nature, it could be stuff that's overlooked, right? You have your 0 days and things of that nature. But when it comes to missing authorization, I think the other one was buffer overflow. I think was the other one. Like these are things that are very common attack things that are out there, right? Like methods of attack to where it's like you gotta be able to get this right. Now for me, maybe because this is your realm, not my realm, right? Like I'm not an infrastructure guy, Ryan. Like for me, it seems like, man, I've been seeing buffer overflow and authorization like forever, right? That's
Right.
something that needs to be taken care of. Like, but again, as technology gets more and more advanced, there's probably different ways to go about circumventing the way we go about defending against those things now anyway.
Right. And these are derivatives of some attack vectors back from early 2024. So these are things that were identified, that's remediated. However, the attackers, whomever they are, were able to still leverage them uh, post remediation. So that's also shows that the sophistication, right? That they're able to weaponize things that should already be patched or fixed, or that were patched and fixed from a year ago. But again, state actors are going to do what state actors do. But you remember that one guy? There was a guy here in the States that shut down North Korea. You never know, right? It could be there's just one guy, one smart guy in
I
the
remember.
basement.
I remember that. That was
That was
okay.
that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, he cut off the internet, and then they wrote an article about it.
Did we do an article on that? Did we talk about
We
that?
did talk about it. Yeah, we talked about it. It was a couple years ago though. Like since then we've had like 1,000 episodes. Yeah, you just never know. Without further ado, Shane, I give it to you for the second topic.
All right, everybody. So this one comes from Wired.com. See if I can get the name here. Hold on 1 second. Doesn't have an author on this one. So from Wired.com, and the title of this one is Sim Farms, right, are a spam plague. A giant one in New York threatened U.S. infrastructure, feds say, right? So they found a network of 300 servers and 100,000 SIM cards, right? Which was, they say is enough to knock out cell service in the New York City area, right? So the New York City area, that's what, 8 million people, right? Is what they say is the New York
Yeah,
City area.
yeah,
So yeah, that's a lot, right? Experts say it mirrors facilities typically used for cybercrime, right? But in the article, they talk about, yeah, it could be used for cybercrime. They think it was used by organized crime. It could be a nation state or whatever. Like whoever wanted to get in on this can get in on this, right? But something interesting I saw on here that I was like, wow, okay. I was like, that's a lot, right? 300 servers, 100,000. They talk about, yeah, to give you an idea of capacity for disruption for this size of what it was. They said this network could be used to send approximately 30 million text messages per minute, meaning it could anonymously text the entire United States in around 12 minutes. I was like, what? I was like, is this why I keep getting these text messages that I keep having
right.
to delete and
And
report junk?
everyone is getting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? Me myself, I'm thinking I had to have signed up for something that I just don't remember, or something along
It's
those
all of
lines.
us though. It's all of us.
Yeah,
Like 'cause I'm getting them, you're getting them, my wife's getting them. Like everyone's getting them. If they did a survey, they would be like, "Who's not getting them?" It'll be the question.
that would be the smaller ones, right? And even then, it'd be people raising their hands that are like, "Oh, well, I don't have a cell phone either, right? So that's why I'm not getting them."
Right.
So, but no, this was something that like the U.S. Secret Service was in on this, right? So because it's the U.S. Secret Service, like it's very serious in what is going on with this. But like I said, they said it's organized crime. They said it could be nation state actors, different people that are known to law enforcement that were using it. And in the picture, like they have like. Or in the article, excuse me, they had pictures of like the location, one of the locations at least, or maybe it's two of the locations where they show what it is. And I'm like, it does not take much to make this happen, right? Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, like these sim farm sites don't require a lot for them to get up and do what it is that they're doing, right? But yeah, this they've also accused these farms of being able to operate like fake social media profiles, right, for disinformation and propaganda, things of that nature, because they're sending messages, right, that have disinformation, misinformation, things of that nature. So it's something that it's far reaching what they can do, what they can do with this capability. But this is kind of crazy to me. And the fact that they said it wasn't too far from Manhattan either. I want to say it was like 30 minutes or something, like at 30 miles maybe. I can't remember what it said in the article. I'd have to scan for it. But like these different sites were all centered around New York City. And I'm not going to say they made a guess, but they were talking about how the United Nations Assembly was having a get together, right? Like the next week from when they discovered this. So they were like, it could have been like maybe it was in disruption of that. It's one of those things where because it's the Secret Service and it's an active investigation, you got people that are speaking off the record, right? That are not they're not speaking on the record to say what it really was and are giving, hey, it could have been this, it could have been that. But this is where cybercrime is, folks. Like it doesn't require much. There's probably not even anyone sitting at these farms at these different locations to make sure this is done, right? Like it's a fire and forget thing. Set it up, you make it do what it's going to do, send the messages, right? Tell me I can get better home loan rates or whatever on my house that I've had for years, right? And I'm like, no, it's not as good as it was when I bought my house. So, good. But yeah, and here's the thing, because it is so easy and because it can be unmanned, like I wouldn't be surprised if this just leads to like they found this near New York City, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this was found all over the country, maybe in a smaller scale, right? But it's being utilized to do the same types of things, right? Because it doesn't require much, it doesn't require a lot of manning. And here's the thing, with the advent of AI, like it may just be one of those things where you have AI do this for you while you're sitting on a beach somewhere out of the country, you know, collecting money from these scams that are possibly happening from these sim farms as well. You know what I mean? But Ryan, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this makes me very uneasy. And not like so it's something that's been around for a while now and implemented like in Ukraine and other places in order to disrupt and shut things down. Like what makes me feel uneasy about it is kind of strange, right? Is that I found this topic from the news. So that the news covered this, and then I found the article because I heard about it, and it was just so it was so in passing that it made it stand out to me like what? Because they literally it was like between two segments they were talking about I think they were talking about some political news that just happened and they're cutting away to something local, but in between they brought this up and it was like they let like maybe 45 seconds they talked about it, showed a couple pictures, and then kept it rolling. I'm just like, how complacent are we that this is not top of mind, especially in major hub such as New York City, right? Like it makes my mind spin because it's like, was this in rented space? Like where was it located? Like where did they find this? Because let's say it was organized crime, then at scale, like this is pretty large, right? Like you can turn this farm into a as a service type situation where people can buy in and then do their nefarious works. But then as a nation state, like this is crippling, right? To shut down all of what you would think would be emergency services at a whim, right? Like, because you still have E911 and all the other things. However, let's say this went off near a stadium, right? It's already overwhelmed. It's already overpopulated, such as New York itself, right? During a major event, you could do some major disruption, like from robbing a bank all the way to some kind of domestic terrorist situation or nation state terrorist situation. just by shutting down cell service because people rely on it so much. Like you would have no ability to acquire news. You have no ability to call loved ones. You have no ability to call 911 if they were to fire this thing off because of how quickly it would overwhelm the towers that are nearby. So that just makes me feel super uneasy because like this could just be in a co-op somewhere, right? Like somebody could just set this up in some office space somewhere under someone else's name, right? Some kind of shell company or something like that, and it could just be ready. Like these could be all over the place. They're super cheap, they're super small, and it takes relatively little to no power, so it'd be hard to find. So I'm interested to see how Secret Service found it first off, but then also like how many of these are exist. It could be anywhere.
So I think you said something that unintentionally, like I think you're right with the as a service thing. This is SFAS, right? This is Sim Farm as a service. I just made that up. So if it
Nice,
catches on,
nice.
that's on me.
Trademark.
Yeah, trademark this thing. Because here's the thing, like in the article, they talk about how they know it was used by organized crime. They know it was used by nation state actors, right? That's two different goals they're trying to accomplish there, right? Like organized crime is trying to make money from it, right? Nation state actors are trying to gain power over somebody else, right? So like it's got to be offered out there on the dark web somewhere as a service to people who be like, hey, we have this if you guys want to use it, right? Like maybe it's not, maybe that whole farm, the 300 servers and 100,000 cards, like maybe it's sectioned off, right? Like maybe they, what do you call it? Maybe they VLANed it, right?
Right. They have like QoS. Like if you want the best disruption, this is the premium you have to pay per month. Because we talked about it with the video game cheaters, right? They could turn anything to as a service and make a lot of money. So I would be interested in how they found it, right? Like what was the signature, right? Like are they seeing a bunch of power being used? Are they seeing a bunch of messages specifically coming from this area? Like I wonder how like that's the secret sauce that I don't think they will share because then now they have you know a tool of some sort or a suite of tools to track these things down. Um, but it's very fascinating, right? That's forensics and reconnaissance and all that other stuff to have located this one. But again, like how many of these? Because they're so relatively cheap and they make a lot of money. How many of these exist?
And they probably won't make their methods known on how they track you
Right.
down either, right? Like it's one of those things where they can keep using that to go forward to be like, hey, this is what we looked for before. Yep, they're still doing that with these when they do this SFAS, right? As we have determined.
We've coined.
So yeah, it's there will probably be more to come from it, but probably not everything that we want to know, right? Like because there's some stuff they're going to keep close hold and be like, well, again, this is how we find this stuff. This is how we know that they're operating a certain way. Maybe there's some signatures in the text that come out that I don't even read anymore. I just delete and report junk, right? So it's
Yeah.
just like
I mean, this week was bad too. I got at least six in a day. It just kept hitting me. And they're leaving voicemails too, so that's annoying, right? Because those are separate. Like you report the junk in your text, but then you also have to delete those voicemails, and they're all the same, offering me some kind of loan of some sort. Very annoying.
it's crazy, man. And what's wild about it is that I don't know if it's one of those things where I think they might have got in on like Credit Karma or something like that, right? Because like I'll get messages like I'll put something on a credit card, pay the credit card off every month. So like I'll see this thing from Credit Karma and be like, hey, you paid off a balance. I was like, well, I didn't put a lot on it. I just paid it off, right? And then like not too long after that, it's like your balance of this much can be paid with this. I'm like, what? Like you,
Right.
you guys got into Credit Karma or Credit Genie, or you know what I mean? Like that's where y'all penetrated. But yeah, it's wild, man. I don't see this ending anytime soon. But yeah, the voicemails, that's another one too, man. Like when you put me on to the one with like they make it sound realistic with the coughing.
Yeah.
Like
Or
I
the or
got one
the
not
verbal pause. Yeah.
yeah, I got one not too long after that. I was like, dang, I was like, this is what Ryan was talking about right here, man. I was just like, good on you. Delete.
It's crazy. I don't even answer my phone anymore. I screen all my phone calls now. If you're not in my contacts, I don't answer. Like
It's
I'll call that person back, and nine out of 10 times it's spam.
it's weird because they're getting like I don't have my phone number is not local to the area that I live in, right? It's one of those things where you've been able to port your phone number forever, right? So
Right.
like I'm getting a lot of them from where my phone number comes from, but I'm like, wait a minute, I know very few people that have that area code even, right? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm like, nah, you're not about to get me, you know what I mean? But
Ridiculous.
yeah, it's getting wild, man. Delete and report junk, people. Just make it happen with these text messages. You'll
That's how they found it. Like all of our delete report junks. help find these
Yeah.
sim farm. But yeah, it's crazy stuff. But yeah, I like the SFAS, right? Sim farm as a service. I'm gonna add that to the thumbnail in some way. That's pretty cool. But I give it to you for our discussion.
All right, everybody. So this one comes from bbcnews.com, right? Written by Joe Tidy. I'm going to title this one is Nursery Hackers Threaten to Publish More Children's Profiles Online, right? So there's hackers that have been holding pictures and private data of thousands of nursery children and their families for ransom, right, over in the UK. And the criminals are calling themselves Radiant, right? They always come with cool names. It sucks, man, that they do. I'm like, that's a good name for a hacking group. You know what I mean? And they hacked the Kiddo Nursery chain and posted profiles of 10 children online and a further on Thursday and 10 more on Friday. So 20 total, right? So I think what ended up happening here was that the nursery chain said they weren't going to pay, right? They were like, nah, we're not paying you, whatever. So they went out and reached out to the BBC and was like, hey, here's what we did. And it's one of those things where they're stoking fear, right? They're like, hey, your children's information may be out there, right? It's not anything serious. Let me not say not anything serious because this is still serious, right? But it's not anything that will put your children in direct harm initially, right? It's not like they had pictures of the children and, codes to get into your house or anything like that. It's just information that came from the kiddo software, right? And it's used for nurseries and childcare organizations. And they say that they have 1 million owners, managers, practitioners, and families, right? Company. So 1 million people potentially, 1 million families could potentially be affected by this, right? So, and it's one of those things where I think they reached out to the BBC because Kiddo was like, we're not paying you anything, right? Like you can go kick rocks with this because the information, again, it's fairly mild, right? So there's pictures, there's date of birth, a birthplace and details, right? But it's not enough, like I said, to be like, hey, come pick this child up at this time, at this location or whatever, right? So yeah, it's weird, man. Like it's not weird. It's alarming that these are the places they go after, but they know, right? Like the reason they went public is because they know the fear people have for their children being in some little bit of danger is going to prompt maybe pressure from the parents to be like, hey, go ahead and pay them so this information doesn't come out anymore. Right. But again, we talk about it, right? Like these are where the pros and the cons come in, right? Like if you pay them, it's like you said, Ryan, it's like stray cats, right? Feeding stray cats. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to be like, yep, we still had more information. We told you we deleted it, but you trusted us like you shouldn't have. Right. And we have more of it. But yeah, we'll see what comes of this, but kiddo, stay strong, right? Like, cause the cyber criminals are just like, hey, we're trying to do whatever we can to get money. We found our soft target, and hopefully you get enough pressure from parents to go ahead and pay us, right? But this is one of those things where criminals are, man, they're just getting more and more ruthless for the money, man. And I guess I don't know. I say it like this: I know the difference between plenty and nothing, but I don't think I would ever do anything like this, right? Like, I don't. I've been in points in my life where I've had nothing, but I don't think I'd ever turn to the point where I'd start leveraging people's kids. You know what I mean? People's children to try to make money. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, this one is again uncomfortable because like you may want to say like, okay, well, not you, but just in general, people are like, it's just pictures, right? Like people take pictures of their kids all the time at the nursery, or the nursery takes pictures of your kids and send to you, right, every day. Like they're doing this activity, they're doing that activity. Look at this. This is cute. But it's it being in somebody else's hands and you don't know what they're doing with it. That makes it very uncomfortable, and that's why I could see people wanting to pay to get it expunged or removed from the interwebs. But like you said, like the stray cats, like just because you give somebody money doesn't mean they're going to do what they said they're going to do, especially criminals, right? That's the number one person you shouldn't trust. But also, like in the article, like Sean, the guy from Tooting is the place that he lives, contacted the BBC, and he had this statement, or this is a quote that I put out from him. It says, "Any parents that are getting angry should probably direct their anger towards scumbags that have actually done it." So that leads me to believe that parents are coming up to the nurseries or the daycares, pissed, like upset, like how could you let this happen? What are you guys doing, etc. Not knowing perhaps that it's across multiple devices, across multiple different nurseries, meaning that it wasn't necessarily the nursery's fault. It could be a flaw in the software for the cameras, or it could be something bigger to do with that parent company, right? The company that owns the actual technology. So I should say the technology vendor, like not the parent company, because it has something to do with that vendor. So that's causing strife as well. So somebody might come to daycare and sock out, a nursery care worker or something like that because they're upset, but they don't know where to direct their anger, right? Because they're ignorant to the fact that it wasn't the nursery's fault in this case, like that we know of. So I don't know. I just I don't like it because it is leveraging people's emotions, right? Because you have children involved. Because if this was to be older kids or to be adults, then the red flags would go up for manipulation through AI and selling of photos to create not safe for work type images and things of that nature. So it would just escalate from there. So like maybe the bad guys are leveraging either they're leveraging it because that was where they got the foothold and they're just like, well, this is what we got, so we're going to use this, or they're thinking like, okay, well, this we can't get in that much trouble because it's just pictures of babies, right? Either way, it just as a parent it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like knock it off. Like don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know. I mean, you think their mindset is they won't get in that much trouble because of it being children. Like I think that'll be one of the times that they make an example of them, right? Like if they get caught, I think the UK government will be like, hey, this is we don't play when it comes to this, right? Like they already are very strong when it comes to data privacy, right? Like I talk about this
Yeah,
every
just
time
in
something
general.
comes
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So like the fact that they're doing this and it's children, like again, I think the group came out and made it public. And I want to say, when I was reading in the article, when they were talking to the BBC, they were speaking in English, but they admitted that their English is not their first language, right? So,
Okay.
like, I don't know if that was to throw them off too, right? To be like, hey, we don't, this is not our first language. We had other people speaking for us or whatever. Something along those lines, it said. It was kind of weird. That was like, that could be a distraction. That could be something to just throw them off, though, right? Like, it could still be, some Brits or Irish or something over there
Right.
doing
Right.
whatever they need to do. But yeah, it's tugging at the heartstrings. And again, this is not the first time we've seen something like this. We've seen it in the United States where they go up to school districts, right? And it's one of those things where in America we don't have it like over in the UK they're very much the EU actually. I don't think it's just the UK. I think it's the EU. They're trying to get it to where it's like it's going to be illegal to pay these ransoms that these ransomware gangs and attackers are asking for. Right? They're working very hard on that to where it's just mandatory. You will not pay it, or you're going to incur a heavy fine or go to jail. Right? That's not the case in America. Right? They leave it up to them to be like, pay it if you want to. Right? Like there's cyber insurance out there. You can get that if you want.
Right.
Right?
They're
To
like
try.
freedom.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, children being a target is disgusting. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
It
we'll
puts me
see.
in the mindset of like a Black Mirror episode. Like I know you don't really get down with Black Mirror, but it feels as though its origins are in Europe anyway. Like something like someone has photos of someone who's in a political party or something like that, and they leverage it for ransom or something like that. Because if they could associate these pictures with the actual parents of it, then that could also escalate it, right? Say like you receive a random text that says, "Hey, we got your kid." That would set off alarm bells, even though they don't have them, right? It's just another way to leverage images to pull on emotion to then gain money to some extent, or it could dox them, right? It could be like, hey, the PM's daughter goes to this nursery. Here's a picture of them. Like that could be a problem as well, right? Because you don't necessarily want people to know where your children attend school and things of that nature. So it's I don't know. It's just it feels more nefarious because they're using the babies, Shannon. The babies. I don't like it.
Shannon love kids like Martin.
So I don't know. I don't like it. But I think like there's no good segue to bring us into the rest of it. So I'll do some more plugging while we get ready to spin up. So thank you again for tuning in. It's not over yet, but make sure that you subscribe to us on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a rating. So I noticed that like Apple, when I check the ratings, we only have like 8 ratings. They're all really high, so I appreciate that. But we want more ratings, right? We want more people to rate us. Same thing with the book. If you have a copy of the book, whether regardless if you bought it from me, which you can go to theothersideofthefirewall.com to pick up the guide, or you purchased it from like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart.com, etc., please leave a rating. That helps the algorithm of the universe determine who gets to see it and suggested, content. Also, same thing with YouTube. We don't have a lot of traffic on YouTube, but also please leave us a feedback. Subscribe there as well. Nielsen numbers are in, so we've gained I guess double digits when it comes to the radio when it comes to percentage up, right? So like we're almost at 16,000 listeners per week on 99.1 FM in the Atlanta metro area. So thank you for that. That's amazing. The TuneIn app, we're almost at 3,000. So altogether, we're slightly over 19,000. So I'm a round up. So we almost have 20,000 listeners per week. That's awesome. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate that. And with that said, share with your friends. Let's double that. Let's get 40,000. I'm greedy. But I think we also have an amazing slot, right? We're catching people in rush hour traffic in Atlanta. So they have no choice but to listen to us. So I'm glad we make it a little entertaining. So yeah, definitely continue to hit us up, check us out. And yeah, buy the book. I know it's almost 20,000 of you listening. Each one of you, buy a copy of the book. If you don't read it, buy it for a friend or a family member. It's called The Other Side of the Firewall. But Shannon, I give it to you. How was your week?
Could have been better, man. My Ravens got their butts handed to them by the Lions. I didn't like seeing that, right? And then just yesterday, Penn State. I couldn't stay up for the game. But my bedtime's getting earlier and earlier every week.
Right,
It seems
right.
like, right? But Penn State lost to Oregon, and I got a friend that's a former coworker with me that we were going back and forth throughout the week. And then this morning, I woke up, read the recap, and I was like, oh, it's exactly as I thought it would happen, right? The quarterback we have for Penn State is trash. I don't know why people think he's so great. People are like, oh, I think it's because of his size. Like he's big for a quarterback. Like, oh, he's 6'5", 235. He can make all the throws.
That's like Josh
I was
Allen.
like,
Josh Allen.
yeah, but like Josh Allen, and Josh Allen grew into it, right? Like Josh Allen didn't start out as he is now, right? Like he had to work on his footwork the way through, making the reads. This guy can't do it. Like
Maybe he can. You just said Josh Allen grew it.
This guy can't do it. I'm convinced. Josh Allen was not this bad in college.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like Josh Allen played for Wyoming. He didn't have the talent around him like Drew Aller does, right? In Penn State. And it's one of those things where I watched this morning, I was watching college football final before we got on the show. And as I'm watching the game and when I went to sleep, it was like 17-3. I was like, okay, well, this is over, right? Like I was in and out anyway. Like I was zoning in and out. And I was like, okay, well, this is over. I'm going to bed. And then I see that we came back. We went to 2 overtimes. We lost in 2 overtimes, right? So I'm like, oh, that's good. But Drew Aller did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Threw an interception, threw an interception to a guy that was surrounded by 3 Oregon players. I'm just like, why are you doing this, right? James Franklin can't win the big game. Let's get him fired, y'all. Like, I hate to do this. I don't go out there and do things like this, but I'm like, get Franklin out of there, man. You keep giving the ball to Drew Aller at the end of the games. Like last year in the Big Ten championship, we lost to Oregon because Aller threw an interception. When we went to the college football final, we played well. So we got to Notre Dame. Aller threw an interception to end it for us. We play Oregon again. Aller threw an interception. What's the common denominator here, right? You're the coach. Take it out of his hands. Don't let him be the one to do that. But whatever. So both my teams lost. We're going to try to get right against the Chiefs. I'm not too confident about that. My Ravens get confident against the Chiefs. And then I think we got UCLA for Penn State this coming week. So that should be easy. But I don't assume anymore. I do not assume anymore. But
I hope y'all beat the Chiefs, man. Like, you got to knock them down a peg, please, or continue that they feel that they're down a peg.
Nah, I'm not confident. They got our number, man. Like I think it's the last 4 times we played them. They got us. Yeah, I don't know. And our defense looks terrible, man. And our best defensive tackle, one of our best defensive players, went on IR this week. Like he had been missing a couple weeks, and they thought he was just going to come back, and then he went on IR. So that's 4 weeks right there. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I was like, this is. I've had it good for so long now. I guess it's time to. Go back to the bad old days, right? But yeah, we don't stay down for long when we do. But yeah, so it's probably going to be a bad year. I'm just. Our best window has passed us. I'm sure of that, right? Like even with us having Derrick Henry.
That's what I say. You got a beast. You got the case of the fumbles, but
dude, that dude's fumbled every year, man.
But he has in his defense, he gets so many carries.
He does, but
statistically, it's bound to happen.
It can't happen every game. It can't happen every game. Like we've played 3 games this season. He's fumbled 3 times. Like it's one in every game.
But how many yards has he got, Shannon?
Bro, not that many.
Running people over.
He's not doing as well as he did last year because look, here's the thing. By this time last year, he had a 199-yard game against the Bills, and we blew you out in the regular season.
That's true.
Y'all made sure to take care of that in the playoffs, though. Y'all were like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna pay Mark Andrews a bunch of money so he can have some drops and some fumbles, right? So
As what we did.
that's how that played out because I ain't never seen him play like that before. He ain't played like it since. I don't know what's going
Gotcha.
on. But I'm like, I'm gonna see if he got a new yacht. That's what I want to see. Like, I know
Yeah,
there's a
he had to hold off
million.
a couple years.
Yeah, I want to see what happened, but no, but Buffalo didn't let that happen again, right? So I don't know, man. I'm just my teams. It's going to be a year. It's going to be what it is. Other than that, what did I do? The wife and I have been watching Will Trent. It's a TV series. We watched the first season, but then we picked it up again. And then High Potential is back. That's another one that these first two episodes of the new season are good because there was a point where I was kind of getting down on it. I was like, I don't know. But the first two of this new season, it's starting off pretty good. I said that about the first season too. I
Right,
started
right.
off pretty good and then it went down. But yeah, it's back. That's pretty good. I've been playing Madden. Man, every time it's a patch, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Every time it's a patch, something old sneaks in again, and I'm just like, geez Louise, what
Either
is
it's going to get real good or real bad, though. Like we see that EA is up for potential purchase by a bunch of billionaires in the Saudi PIF
yeah.
permanent. What's the I stand for?
It's a investment fund or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Where
Yeah.
they flip oil money into
Mhm.
tech, basically. So
Yeah.
super smart. They're like, one day people won't want oil, but they'll want all this other things. Super smart. But yeah, they're so by the time people listen to this, it may already happen because they say it could be as early as this upcoming Monday, right? That they may be purchased for $50 billion. So EA, like people think Madden, people think Battlefield, but people don't like people in the States anyway. FIFA or whatever they call it now, they call it something
Yeah.
different. But soccer is worth its weight in gold. If they, oh man, if they buy that and they do well with it, like giving them more resources, things of that nature, like EA could be. EA is already a powerhouse, but they could be even more so. But I'm just hoping that they fix that Madden or get worse. They were like, hey, we ain't putting no resources in this. Just keep churning them out. Like, we want two Maddens a year. You're like, how? It doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense.
I'd be out. I'd be out at that point. I'd be like, you know what? No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Because you know how it always has the next year, right? Like Mad 26 is the current one, right? They're gonna flip it. It's gonna be Mad 25 and a half, Mad 26. You're like, but how?
I would be out. I would start a campaign. It would prompt me to get into to petitioning against man. Like, there's no
Right.
way.
The soundtrack's gonna be fire though. Throw a couple beats
I
on
got
there as
I
well.
gotta be honest, man. Like the last couple of years, like the soundtrack's been pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, man. I hear some stuff. I'm like, oh, who is that? I'll hit the thing to go to the EA music and be like, oh, okay, all right. I might add that to the playlist. I might hear that in the gym today. You know what I mean? Or tomorrow. But
I forget. Wasn't well, there's a few years where they had like the AR or whatever they call it. It was like Jay-Z and then it was somebody else, right? Like
was
that took care of it.
was it Kendrick Lamar or
I
who
can't
was it?
remember,
Yeah, it was
but
Jay
yeah.
Z
So
and somebody else. Yeah.
they usually try to find like a powerhouse to do the soundtrack for that year. Like aside from like I don't think it looks good. Like I just don't think Madden looks good. You are a Madden aficionado over there. You don't think it plays well, right? Post patches and things of that nature. I just don't think it's a good product anymore. It hasn't been a good product since like the early aughts, in my opinion. But I also don't buy it every year. Like I only buy like I bought the one with Josh Allen on the cover, right? Like I buy like every 5 or 6 years. I play like maybe a week, and I'm just like, I hate this because I don't know football on a technical level, so I just fundamentally just not good at it, right? Because I always think like I'll just overwhelm it with my video game skills I've accumulated over 40 years. I just get demolished by both people and the AI, right? The CPU kicks my butt, so I'm just not good at it.
Did Junior get it this year?
No, no, he's been boycotting 2K and Madden. Like so he's been playing a lot of different games, which I'm cool with. Like he said, he's playing a lot of League of Legends recently. So like games, in my opinion, like everybody, people have their opinions about video games, but I think these are like games that make him use his brain a little bit more. But really, like my beef with it was that he was spending a lot of money in like 2K, like a lot of money. Like he would get his allowance and like blow it on 2K stuff. I'm just like, all that stuff's going to be gone next season. Like you're going to buy another one and you got to start all over again. So I was happy for that, for his pockets. Like, cause your allowance, you want to spend it on virtual stuff, you can if you want to, but that's on you. And then he'd always be mad, right? Like he would like be mad at the game, like, oh, the game sucks. Just like, is it worth? Is it worth buying and playing it and have like it looks gorgeous. Like 2K always looks gorgeous. I don't know. It's like Vegas. Like it's very deceptive. Like you get in there and it's a bunch of you putting more money into stuff. I just hate it. I hate the monetization that happened to these games. Then Madden is hit or miss. His uncle Mike would you play him in Madden, so they used to buy it every year to a certain. I think it was like until 23, and then he hasn't bought it since.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He got other priorities too, man. It's gas money now for him. You know what I mean? He out here,
Look,
putting on the
it's
whip.
it's I get a Cash App request for gas money. That's what happens.
What's that? What?
That's what happens. So, and I pay it because I'm a sucker. Same thing with his sister, but like he drives, right? Because he takes himself to school every day, and then he has like club activities. He does volunteerism, so he's doing a bunch of stuff in his senior year. So it's well worth the investment. Like I'm glad we're in a position to gift him a vehicle. His sister, on the other hand, now she's on campus. That thing don't move. Like she hasn't asked me for gas in like 3 weeks. Like I think she has to drive to one class because it's on the other side of campus. Aside from that, like she lives next to the dining facility. She lives next to the bookstore. Across the street, like there's across one light is the campus has a Publix. It's a USF branded Publix. So she doesn't have to drive. So I'm just like, we could have just gave your car to him, but it's good to be in that position. But what's not good is the insurance. My insurance doubled putting them both on.
Yeah, but it was more for your son than it was your daughter. Like that was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
experience.
yeah. I got punched in the face. Like I was like, this won't be bad. And then when I added him, it shows you the adjustment. I was like, ooh, good lord. That's why because my mom did not put me on. She was like, you want a car, you get it, you gas it, and you insure it. So I was spending a whole paycheck like just on that stuff. But in inflation, I wouldn't be able to afford it. Like I'd have been on the bus right now, which we had mass transit in Buffalo, but like yeah, I didn't want to use it once I turned 17, 18, but I would have to now because there's no way I'd be able to afford like just insurance itself because I was paying like 350 back then. That was 350 in the early 2000s. Like so that's probably like seven. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy because I never had a car when I was in school, right? Like so, like I had friends that had vehicles. I could bum a ride with them if I needed to, but I either walked or used public transportation, right? That's what we had in Maryland, right? So for me, it was not a concern. It was not a concern for me. So like when I went to my first duty station, right? It was Eglin in Florida. That's when I had my first car. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
needed it there, but back home, yeah, public transportation or walk it, man. My casts were on point. You know what I mean? Walking
No,
everywhere.
I used my Pell Grant to buy. Yes, and you could buy a car for, I think it cost me 2,800. So I saved some money and I used my Pell Grant and you could get used books, right? So you show up to the bookstore, like I was the first in line in the bookstore, right? Like I had the whole broke college kid thing on lock. And then you can buy the used book that the class was using. But nowadays, like when I went to the bookstore with my daughter, like every year they got to get the new book. It's so like that the whole racket has changed. Or I used to rent books too, so there was a service called like rent a book or rent a something, and you could
I was
give
I
it.
was sure you were gonna say Amazon. I was sure you were gonna say it was a
No,
service
no,
called.
they called Amazon. So you would it was well, so Amazon was a thing, but like this place doesn't even exist probably anymore, but they had books super cheap. You just put the ISBN in and then you would pay a flat rate to rent the book. And they would ship it to you and then you would ship it back. Like you would put in your semester dates so they knew when the book was coming back. So it was kind of like a library, but like you could rent a book for like $35. That would normally cost like $350, right, to purchase. So I used every method you could think of to get the grant myself, and then I used it on the car. But I don't think you could even buy and this was a decent vehicle. Like it lasted me like 2.5 years before it completely uh, went upside down on me. I don't think you could buy a car for under 3 grand. So, but life was different. Like, cause we look at olden days, you be like, oh, yeah, I could buy a bag of candy for a penny. And you're like, man, where you grew up in black and white days? And now we look and just in the past 25 years, it's the same thing. I'm just like, yo, you can't buy anything. Like a hoopty. as we called it back in the day. Like, that's only like $1,000. Like, but now, like, you can't buy anything for probably like less than. I saw this really old vehicle. It was like a Cutlass or something like that. Like it looked like it had like the old frame and everything, and they had in the window was like 6,700, and it had like almost 200,000 miles on it. It's like Jesus.
In all fairness, that thing is all iron too, right? Like
That's true. That's true.
it's not
You could sell it for scrap.
it's not aluminum like cars are today. You know what I mean? Like that thing was all iron, all steel, all heavy. That thing probably weighs more than any SUV you have in your
Right.
driveway right now. It's crazy. Right? But that's been my week, man. What about you? What you been up to?
So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, just had a get together. So I went to get together for my my skill bridge, my second skill bridge actually. Like I had to pivot to another skill bridge. Like well, I talked about my story on several different podcasts, but I went to that one. It's always a good time, like meeting with people who are currently in the transition or who have transitioned, and then just networking and things like that. So that was cool. Every now and then they do it in my area, so I always go to that one. I have an upcoming, I think it's, yeah, this week. I'm going to B-Sides to St. Pete. So that's another cyber um, conference. So it'll be my first one of this year. So I'm going to that one. They're giving away the guide. Like we worked it out where they're giving copies of the guide to the winners of the Capture the Flag. So it'll be a good networking event. I can't wait to meet
Nice.
people. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And then, so just prepping for that, and then watched a lot of TV shows. So I'm caught up on Peacemaker, hilarious. Like we all knew it was going to go in this direction, and now it did, but it did in the most hilarious of ways. So I'm excited to see the next episode. I think there's like 2 or 3 more episodes in the season. And then the Alien Earth finale. Finale will tarnish an experience. It had everything going for it. It was amazing. That finale was terrible. It was like a Game of Thrones type finale. It's like, well, who thought this was a good idea? Because it didn't finale. It was kind of like it had Hulu had commercials, right? Or I guess Hulu does have commercials. I have the one that doesn't have commercials. I would have thought they just went on a commercial break, like, and then they rolled credits. And I was like, what? Like you're ramping up for this thing to happen, and then it's coming. It's about to happen, and then it doesn't happen. It just cuts to black basically. I'm like, who thought that was a good idea?
Are you sure it's the last one? It could be a two-parter.
It was like the internet is upset. It was like, what were you thinking? Like this finale is not good. Like our assumption is that it's getting the second season, but I have not seen on the internet that it's been renewed, because usually like they get renewed before the finale. I have not seen that's been renewed. Like what were y'all thinking? Like I wasn't feeling it. So it went from being a 9 out of 10 to being like a 7.5 out of 10.
From one episode?
Yeah,
Ryan. Oh,
yeah.
no.
The last episode was not good. It just wasn't a good episode in general. It's just kind of like the what do we call it, like the penultimate. So the episode before that one was real good. Like you're like, okay, we're getting somewhere. The thing is finally happening. The aliens out here killing people. The one big bad is more clever than we thought. And this one, everything that could have been interesting, they just kind of just shut the door to. So I'm just like, yeah, not good. So hopefully it does come back, and hopefully they pick up right from where they left off at. So like maybe episode 1 will be that part 2, or like you were saying, and actually the progressives to get us somewhere. But yeah, I'm not feeling it. Today my Bills play the Saints at 1 p.m. Eastern, so I'm excited about that. Can't wait to jump on that one. And then yeah, just playing. Oh, so I did play a new game. So still wrapping up Final Fantasy VII. It's like Willy Wonka. It's the never-ending gobstopper. Every time I think I'm done, I find more content. I'm just like, yeah, it's too much. You put too much in this game. So now I'm out here racing chocobos, right? I'm at the Gold Saucer, wrapping up all those missions. So for Shannon's edification, chocobo is a giant bird that they ride on. It's pretty ridiculous. If they really existed, it would probably smell terrible. Like birds shouldn't be that big. So I'm wrapping that up, and then hopefully that'll lead me to the last couple of missions, but we'll see. Like every time I think I'm almost done, they're just like, here's more stuff. Because you love Final Fantasy, we put more Final Fantasy in Final Fantasy. So it's kind of a pointless complaint, because I'm happy that there's more stuff in there, but I'm at 165 hours. It just keeps going. But no, I picked up Silent Hill F. I do not know what the F stands for. It's like you know how Lil Wayne always says the F stands for.
Baby. I was gonna say it. Please say the baby.
No clue. But so Silent Hill came out like way back in the PS1 days. It was kind of like a different take on horror from Resident Evil. I was a Resident Evil guy, so I played the first two Silent Hills, never beat them. It was okay. And what's funny is, well, it was a technical challenge. They put fog in, right? Because draw distance was a problem back then. Graphics weren't all that great and stellar, so there was a lot of fog. So Silent Hill is a very foggy place, and it adds to the creepiness, right? So they used a technical limitation to build a mechanic and a theme. So Silent Hill is always full of fog. So in this game, the because we've progressed so far, fog is amazing. It's like volumetric, like it feels like real fog, right, as you're walking around. But it's set in 1960s Japan. You play as a schoolgirl who, like, your town basically everybody just disappeared, just like every other Silent Hill movie, and you're with these other kids and you're trying to figure out what's going on. There's a bunch of creepy stuff happening. Obviously, you're underpowered because you're a Japanese schoolgirl. So I'm beating these things to death with like lead pipes and things like that. So it's a lot of tension. Like sometimes it's better to run than to attack because there will be no guns and things of that nature, right? That's not the setting nor the
That's
character.
Japan.
Yeah. So it's a lot of tension. Loving it. It's like very very spooky. So like they did a good job with this one. And then obviously I love the setting and everything to do with that. So playing through that, having a good time. That's kind of like my palate cleanser from Final Fantasy. No movies. I'm still waiting for Magazine Dreams to be a reasonable price. It's not. And I started Marvel Zombies. So started that one up. So far so good. I think I'm on the third episode. It's not What If season one. I don't think anything like they set the bar too high. I don't think anything will ever be What If season one, but not bad. It's definitely entertaining and it's very gory, very very gory. Um,
Well, it's mature, right? Or
yeah,
R or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's rated M. Yeah, which I was surprised at how because they're like murdering your heroes, but they're already dead. So that's the whole thing. Kind of like that Wolverine trailer I sent you. It's very gruesome, but they're kind of not people because they're kind of like cyborgs, so it's okay to dismember them, I guess.
I was gonna say something about that. I was waiting for you to finish to catch a break, but like I was gonna talk about you sending me that trailer. My son brought it up to me too. He was like, "Have you seen this? Like, it's great." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I said, "But it's 2026." I am sick of getting these trailers that are like a year out for these game releases. I'm like, give it to me 2 months out. Like,
Right,
just keep my
right.
anticipation on board because like that's not coming out for another year. Because it was like September or October 2026 or something like
Yeah,
that, right?
fall.
2026. So I'm like, come on, man. Like that trailer was amazing. Amazing. I'm like, when you sent it to me, I sent it back to you. I was like, Berserker Barrage. Like, that's all I can think when I think Wolverine,
Yeah,
man. At his
but
best, man.
but
Marvel.
but Shannon, you're still in a better situation than the rest of us. Like the first time we saw this trailer, like not this trailer, but the first trailer for this game, I'm trying to look it up. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. All you saw was Wolverine sitting at that bar. So like you know how they show the outside of the bar in the trailer. So you saw it from the behind the back camera angle. It's just Wolverine sitting at the bar and everything's tore up. And they showed that years ago. And now we just got the second trailer. So you suffered years less than the rest of us. Because I thought the game was canceled. To be honest with you, because there was a whole leak and everything. Like a lot of the stuff I didn't read it, but a lot of Insomniac stuff leaked. Like there was like a big exfil of data, and a lot of the script and even early builds of the game were out there in the wild. So people, if they knew how to compile game code, they could play a pre-alpha version of the game. So I skipped all that because I didn't want any of it spoiled for me. But then silence for 2 years after that. So everybody was just like, well, they probably just canceled it. But no, here it was, and it looked amazing. So I'm super hyped for it. Like Insomniac's just a great developer in general. Like they made the Ratchet and Clank games, Spider-Man games. Like they always take it to that next level. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. They always take it to that next level. So I was very surprised that it went this gory. 'Cause I was like, it has to be a little gory because it is Wolverine. But I was like, maybe he's fighting aliens or something, like blue blood, you know what I mean? But no, he's eviscerating cats. So I'm like, yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. But it's too long still.
Well, yeah, and then like GTA. I've been waiting for like GTA should have dropped this fall. But I've been waiting 12 years for Grand Theft Auto. So hopefully it comes out. This will be May 26th, 2026. I already got it on my calendar, so I can take PTO that week. Because the last time I took a leave for a game was GTA 5. So I'm pretty excited about that. But that's pretty much it for me. What I need to do is I need to do some more studying. I'm already cranking out the PDUs for my PMP so I can, keep my certification. But I gotta look on to the next thing. So I'm not sure what that is just yet. Might be cloud, it might be another security. Might jump on a risk, like C risk or something like that. Sky's the limit. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely continue to check us out. So we're on your podcast platform of choice. You can also hear us on the radio on WDJY 99.1 FM in Atlanta metro area, Tuesdays at 5 p.m., as well as simulcast on the TuneIn app. We're on channel 10, public access in the DC Fairfax area. You can hit up all the websites that go by our name. You can go to ramcyber.io if you're looking for RAM services, right? You want your NIST CSFs, your gap assessments. I do cyber insurance assessments. Like I do a little bit of everything, right? Come check out the catalog and then become a client. You can also pick up the guide, the other side of firewall.com is where you can go to pick that guy up. Or if you so choose, you can go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, it's pretty much everywhere retail wise. And then you could check me out personally. Of course, I'm Ry Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn and as various other social media platforms. But you can also now go to RyanWilliamsSenior.com and you can see all my projects and basically my personally branded page. Then obviously we know Shannon's in incognito mode, so don't no need to look for him. But yeah, check us out. Stay safe, stay secure.